I've gone through various traumas in my life. In this video, I only talk about how I grew up without my parents. I read some data. It shows that COVID-19 has caused more than 5 million children lost at least one parent. That's the major reason I want to make this video. I'm hoping to share in some perspective from my own experience. How did it impact my life and how did I overcome it? I also hoping that through the self-reflection in this video, it helped me recover and gain some growth. I lost my mom when I was a little kid. I have 2 elder brothers. We grew up with our parents. I spent almost all of my childhood and teenage years in boarding school. My brothers dropped out of school immediately after the incident and started working in a factory as a child labor. I was only able to see my brothers once a year during Chinese New Year. So how did it impact my life? There are endless of things I can talk here. I only mention a few. Firstly, blaming myself. When I was a kid, I was told that my mom killed herself. In reality, it may or may not be the case. When it first happened, I didn't even feel sad, understand what death means, until many days later, a neighboring kid laughing at me saying I don't have a mom anymore. After a few years, when I grew older, I started to feel guilty. I was thinking, if I didn't go to sleep that night, or if I spent less time playing with my friends, talking to her, maybe things will be different. I think my brothers feel more guilty than me because they feel they're older, they should have taken care of her. My brothers suffered so much depression during their teenage years. So what did I do to not blame myself? Well, firstly, I tried to be objective. I was so little at that time, I didn't understand anything or have the ability to do anything. And secondly, I started to realize that blame or regret does not help with anything. This may sound easy, but in reality, it's a little bit hard for me to master because it requires you to have a conscious mind to notice when the blame thought happens. And when it happens, instead of thinking that thought and feel sad, I have to step back and tell myself I should not blame myself. This does not change anything. I was only able to start not blaming myself after I become more aware of my thoughts. So what did I do to increase my awareness? I did a combination of meditation, reflection, and also learning psychology. For meditation, it does not need to be that fancy or complicated. It can be simply just observe any sensations in your body. For me, it can be just like watch out of the window, listen to the birds, or see the clouds moving around. For reflection, I keep asking myself, why did I think in a certain way? Why did I feel in a certain way? And also, is there anything that I can do differently? For psychology, I read many books, I listen to podcasts, and also taking online courses. Secondly, I'll talk about severe pain in my chest during night for so many years. During the day, I would study, laughing with my friends like everything is normal. When I go to sleep, I will crawl in the bed, feel extreme pain in my chest, and start crying because of the pain. For the initial years, I didn't even think about why I do that. All I did is repeating the cycle day by day. I was laughing with my friends during the day. I was so sunny like a flower, and during the night, I was sinking in the dark. This lasted for so many years until I started to think about why and how do I fix it. I think there are 2 major reasons. Firstly, I miss my mom. I want the love from parents similar like the other kids have. And sometimes it just simply be a hug or a meal with my mom. That sounds so simple, but I have been wanting that for so many years. Secondly is the burden and pressure. I started to take care of my brothers since I was a kid, even though they're older than me. And sometimes it can be overwhelming when I feel I'm the only one there to be able to take care of myself, and also I need to be strong enough to take care of my brothers. There are multiple things I did to overcome from the pain. Firstly, I learned acceptance. That's the major thing that helped me to overcome the pain. I stopped to ask myself why I couldn't have the parents like other kids, and also stopped wanting the parents' love that I could never have. And secondly, I learned let go. Similar like when we're talking about stop blaming myself. It doesn't mean that I will never have these thoughts coming to my mind. It just means when the thought comes, instead of feeling sad, I will just let it go. And also, I think giving love to others is a healing process to me. This can be anything, for example, people, animals, or nature, or anything that you feel passionate about. And I think when I see people happy, when I'm focusing on the beautiful things like in the world, I will feel life is very beautiful, even though life can be hard sometimes. There are endless of impact I can talk here. I'll only briefly list here without going into details, just in case someone is going through the similar situation. For example, lacking of the family education, influence from parents, lack of the basic needs a child should have, for example, not feel starved or feel cold in the winter. Also, playing time or an environment to cultivate an interest or hobby. Also, for so many years, I've been living my mom's dream instead of living mine. For all the listed here, we can use the similar way to tackle it. I think the starting point is to be able to notice the influence, notice that you are behaving in a certain way, and then start to asking yourself, why do you behave in that way? And once you ask your questions, then you can say, is there anything you can do about it? If there's nothing you can do, then you have to accept it and let it go. If there's something you can change, then maybe you can make a plan and working on it and keep reflected. So in summary, the recovery starts with you notice something is wrong, and then you start to ask yourself why you're behaving that way, why do you feel that way? There are so many tools that can help you recover. For example, gain awareness. For me, I use the combination of meditation, reflection, and learning psychology. Also, I suggest you to talk to your therapist if you have access to. For me, I wasn't lucky enough, but if you are in the same situation, maybe you can write down your thoughts, or you can talk to your friend or family member or teacher. And then also be patient to yourself and recognize the progress you have made. At the end, I want to acknowledge that things are usually not black and white. I did gain some benefits from the hardship I have gone through in my childhood. For example, I learned that I have to work hard for the things that I want and also cherish for the things that I have in my life. Also, I want to say that for anyone who is goes through the similar situation or going through something hard, I understand it's not easy. Be patient and kind to yourself.